Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing very well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this really cute Barbie inspired room decor, which includes a storage basket and 3 wall prints. So let's get into it. So we are going to be starting off with the trinket dish jewellery tray. So for that I'm going to be using a 1.75mm hook. A 2mm hook is also fine, but I've lost mine at the minute, so this is going to have to do. You also need some scissors. I actually lost my scissors as well, so I'm using like these fabric scissors, but any scissors will do the trick. And then you'll also need a sewing embroidery needle. And then for your yarn, you're going to need a baby pink colour. This is the Woolcraft New Fashion double knit in the colour baby pink. And then the same brand in white. And then I'm using a hot pink colour. This is also from Woolcraft and it is in the colour Fiesta. One important thing to remember when you are making a gingham design is that you're going to want to select one of your 3 colours that is going to repeat in every row. It doesn't matter which one that is, but you need to make sure that one of your colours is going to repeat in each row. So I'm just going to choose baby pink. So I'm going to start with baby pink just to make it a bit easier. And you're going to want to make a chain of 25 plus 1. Once you have your 26 chains, you're then going to make a half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. You're then going to want to make 1 half double crochet into the next 4 stitches, and then on that 5th half double crochet you're going to want to stop before you finish it. So that's the second one. The third. The 4th. And the 5th one. So normally we would yarn over and pull through all 3 loops here, but I'm going to drop my colour and I'm going to get my second colour. So this could be white or this could be your dark pink, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to start with white, make the slip knot, and you're going to want to attach it to your hook and pull through all of those 3 loops with your new colour. Okay, so there you have changed colour, and you always want to change colour on your final stitch, so every 5th stitch. We're now going to make 5 half double crochets across, and on the 5th stitch we are going to switch back to pink. So that's the first, the second. And you'll also notice that I'm carrying across this pink, and I'm also carrying across the white tail just to hide it, but you want to make sure that you're carrying across your colours. That's the third. That's the 4th, and we're on our 5th. Okay, we're now going to drop the white yarn, and we're going to pick up the pink yarn again. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops with the pink. So you're going to want to repeat this now until you get to the end of the row, and for your last 5 stitches, which will be pink, you don't need to carry across the white for the last 5 stitches because you'll be starting that new row and we'll be starting with pink anyway, so you don't need to carry across the yarn for the final 5 stitches. So I'm now on my last 5 stitches, and when we start the new row we will be doing the 5 pink stitches again, so we don't need the white. So I'm just going to leave the white here at the back, and I'm going to continue my last 5 half double crochets across the row. So this is what it should look like once you have reached the end of the row. So for row 2 we're going to just turn the work. We're not going to chain 1, we're just going to turn the work, and we're going to make our 5 half double crochets in pink, and on the 5th we're going to change back to white. And I'm also going to tuck in this tail as I go, just to make sure everything is weaved in. That's 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Now we're at the back of the work. I'm going to drop the yarn to the back, and then I'm going to pick up the white, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops with white, and then I'm going to start my next 5 half double crochets, and now I'm going to be carrying across the pink because I need pink here and I need pink here. So making my next 5 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, dropping the yarn to the back and picking up the pink, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. I'm going to repeat this now until I reach the end of the row, and then I'm going to be repeating that row for 4 rows in total. So once I have 4 rows, I'm going to come back and show you how we attach the new colour, which will be the hot pink. So I'm on my 4th row and I'm on the final stitch of the row. So I'm going to yarn over and make the half double crochet as normal, and instead of yarning over and pulling through all 3 loops with the pink, I'm going to drop both colours and I'm going to pick up my new colour, the hot pink, make a slip knot, and I'm going to attach it as we have been doing. I'm going to pull through all 3 loops with the hot pink. At this point we don't need the white yarn, so we can just cut that. Careful not to cut the others. And we can just put the white yarn aside, because for the next 4 rows we are going to be using hot pink and baby pink only. And so for the next 4 rows we'll be repeating the same process where we change colour every 5 stitches on that 5th half double crochet. I'm just going to bring my yarn to the back so that it's nice and neat. I'm going to start my first half double crochet, and also weaving in the tail of the hot pink and the long tail of the baby pink. Make that half double crochet, and then 1 into the next 4 stitches, and on the 5th I'm going to change colour. So now I'm changing colour, I'm dropping the pink, dark pink, picking up the baby pink. Now I'm going to do the next 5 half double crochets in baby pink. Okay, now I'm changing colour to hot pink, and I'm going to repeat this process again all the way to the end of the row, and then I'm going to repeat that for the next 4 rows until you have a square. I'm going to repeat this until I have 4 blocks in total, so 4 squares vertically, and then I will come back and I will show you the next step. So I've just finished my 4th stitch, so I'm going to complete the 5th and final stitch of this square. And then I'm just going to chain 1 to fasten off, and I'm also going to cut the baby pink yarn, so that's what it should be looking like. This is the neat side and this is the wrong side. So we're now going to be focusing on the edges, and we're going to use a contrasting colour. So our next row will be the baby pink and white, so I'm going to use hot pink because obviously that's the contrasting colour, but there's no rules, you don't have to use, you can use whatever colour you want for this row. It's just basically going to be a row where we tilt the side edges upwards, so we want to be crocheting on the right side. Okay, so this is the wrong side, this is the right side. So I'm going to join the border colour with a chain 1 into the front loop only of that final stitch that we made. So right here, I'm going to pull that loop through and chain 1. Okay, and I'm going to make a single crochet into the same stitch in that front loop only. Okay, and then I'm going to make 1 single crochet across the front loop of this row, and then I will come back once I reach the corner, but 1 single crochet into each stitch into the front loop only. So here's the front loop, making a single crochet. Again, you tilt it, you can see the V's, you want to grab that front loop right there, single crochet. I'm going to do this all the way across and then come back. Once you've reached the end of the row, you're then going to turn the work so that you're now going to be working down the side of the square, and you're going to make 5 single crochets into this dark pink area. So we just find a little loop on the side, make a single crochet, and then into the next. So it's 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then you're going to repeat this into the light pink area. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I'm going to repeat this now all the way down, and then once I reach the end I'm going to make 1 single crochet into these little loops across. So make sure that you have 5 in each section, and then again repeating up this side, making 5 single crochets in this space, in this space, this space and this space. So I will meet you back once we reach this corner again. Once you have reached the corner of your square, you're then going to slip stitch into that single crochet, that first one you made. So I'm just going to insert the hook into that single crochet, and we're actually going to make the single crochet with our new colour, which is baby pink. So I'm going to grab the baby pink on the hook, pull through the stitch, and then pull through the first loop, like that. Okay, so we're now going to start our next round. So I'm going to chain 1 just to start the next row round, and we are going to be weaving in this dark pink, but I'm just going to cut it so that it doesn't get confusing. So we're going to do the next 5 half double crochets in baby pink, and then on the 5th we are going to change back to white, and we're going to do this all in the front loop for this row. So I'm going to yarn over and insert the hook into the same stitch but the front loop. So right here I'm going to weave in these ends as I go and make that half double crochet, and then into the next stitch, yarn over, make a half double crochet in the front loop only. That's 2, 3, 4 and the last one, and we're going to drop the baby pink and pick up the white yarn. We're going to finish the half double crochet with the white, just like we've been doing. So now we're going to repeat this but with the white, so half double crochet in the front loop only, that's 1, 2, on the 5th I'm going to change colour back to baby pink, finish this stitch with baby pink. So I'm going to repeat this now all the way to the end of the row, and on that last 5th stitch of this section here I'm going to change back to white, and then I'm going to do 5 stitches of white, change to baby pink, 5 stitches of baby pink, change back to white, and then follow that sequence all the way around. So you should have a multiple of 5 going all the way around. So I will meet you back once I've reached this corner here. So I've just finished my 5th half double crochet in the front loop, and I'm now back at that corner what we started in. So I'm going to slip stitch into that very first half double crochet that we made with the white yarn, like that, to connect the corners, and then I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to turn the work and we're going to start the next row. And so now we're going to be working in the opposite direction that we were in the previous row. So I'm going to turn the work, and I'm going to include the baby pink, and we should now be working on the wrong side. And I'm basically going to do 5 half double crochets into the next 5 stitches, and then I'm going to swap to my baby pink colour. Change colours, and 5, change colours, and you're going to want to repeat this all the way around, and then I will meet you back and we will connect the corners again. And we're now working in the normal stitches, so that previous row was in the front loop only. From this point it is just into both loops. So I've now reached the end of the row, so I'm going to slip stitch using the pink yarn into that first half double crochet of this white square. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's this one right here. Like that, slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm just going to chain 1, turn the work, and I'm going to repeat this process along this edge all the way down, across and back up, and then obviously slip stitch back into the first half double crochet. And so you're basically alternating the direction that you're going in each time, and you're going to want to repeat this until, like over here, you have 4 rows of the half double crochet in total. So I will meet you back once I have reached 4 rows and then show you how to change colour for the final 4 rows. So I've just finished my last half double crochet, and I'm going to make my slip stitch in the first stitch of the row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one here. And I'm going to finish the slip stitch with the hot pink, because we are now starting our next block of 4 rows. Just making that slip stitch, and then chain 1, turning the work. I'm now going to cut the white yarn because we don't need that anymore for the rest of the project. So I'm now going to make the next 5 half double crochets. Change colour. Change colour. So I'm now going to repeat the same process that we've been doing, and once I reach the end of this row I'm going to slip stitch into that very first half double crochet that we made, and then I am going to chain 1 and turn the work, and then work in the opposite direction, and I'm going to repeat that until I have 4 rows of the hot pink and baby pink, and then I will meet you back where we will fasten off. Okay, so I've now reached the last row, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch of the row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make a slip stitch, and I'm making sure that the light pink tail is on the wrong side so that we can weave that in. Okay, so just make a slip stitch and then chain 1 to fasten off. I'm going to cut that pink yarn like that, and then I'm just going to take my sewing needle and I'm just going to weave in those ends. And that is the trinket dish all finished. Now I personally prefer to have the right side on the outside, and then you can put your items kind of in the dish or in the little basket, and then everything is kind of looking neat. But if you kind of want the right side to be visible, you can always flip it and then kind of put your items in, and then it looks neat from this angle. This is the trinket dish all finished. We're now going to be working on the Barbie themed crochet wall prints. So I'm going to be starting with the love heart phone design that I created, and I'm going to be leaving all of the links down below to all of the graphs, left-handed and right-handed versions of each graph, so please refer to those if you're following this tutorial. And I also have a more in-depth tutorial if you're more of a beginner when it comes to pixel crochet. I will link that video down below as well. So I'm going to be starting with my pink yarn, because if you are looking at the graph currently, you will see that the first 5 rows are all in hot pink. I've got a 2mm hook that I'm going to be using today. I've actually found it now. And you'll also need some scissors and a sewing needle just to weave in any ends. So I'm going to start with my chain of 25 plus 1, and then I will be making a single crochet across the chain, and then I will be making 5 rows in total of single crochet. So I'm going to come back when I have done that those first 5 rows, and then for row 6 I will show you the first lot of colour changing. Okay, so I've just finished row 5. I'm now about to start row 6, where we will do our first colour change. So if you are referring to the graph, I'm going to be making 2 single crochets in pink and then changing to white. So I'm going to make my first single crochet and then my second, and I'm going to change to white. Now because I am on the wrong side, I am going to be flipping my tail towards me. So if you are crocheting on the right side, then you'll be flipping it at the back away from you. So finish the single crochet with the white, and then I'm going to make 4 single crochets in white, and on the 4th I'm going to change back to pink. Changing back to white, to pink, finish the single crochet. So I'm now going to make 13 single crochets in pink, and on the 13th I will be switching back to white. Completing the 13th, and I'm going to switch to white, and then I'm going to complete the next 4 single crochets in white. 1, 2, 3, and 4, switching back to pink. And then for the last 2 single crochets, this is just in pink. Okay, so that is row 6 complete. So hopefully now you have a bit of an understanding of how to read the graph. Each square will obviously represent 1 stitch. So we will now move on to row 7. So I'm going to turn the work. I'm now back on the right side of the panel. So the graph is telling me that I need to make 2 single crochets in pink and then switch to white. So 1 and 2. Now I'm going to make 21 single crochets in white. Okay, now I'm going to switch back to pink, and then for the last 2 single crochets in pink. So that is row 7 complete. We're now going to do row 8. Okay, so for row 8 I'm now working on the wrong side. I'm going to make 2 single crochets with pink and then switch to white. Okay. I'm then going to make 9 single crochets in white and then switch to pink. Now I'm switching to pink. And I'm going to make the next 3 single crochets in pink. And on the third, switch to white. Now I'm going to make the next 9 single crochets in white and then switch to pink and complete my final 2 in pink. So hopefully now you have an idea of how to switch colours. So I'm going to come back when I have finished my 32nd row and then I'm going to fasten off. So I've just finished my final row, 32nd row, and this is what the result is looking like. So I'm now going to basically just do a border around the edge so that it's a little bit neater on the sides. So I'm just going to continue on from the 32nd row and just then go around. So I'm going to make a second single crochet into that last stitch, so into the corner, and then I'm going to make a single crochet down into each kind of side space all the way down, and then once I reach the bottom corner I'm going to make 2 more single crochets there. So I've just reached the corner, so I'm going to make 2 single crochets into the corner. And then I'm going to continue single crocheting across the bottom, 2 single crochets in the corner, and then continue up, 2 single crochets in the corner, and then I'm going to continue single crocheting across, and then I'm going to slip stitch back into that first single crochet that we made. We're now going to start on the daisy design, which I think is the easiest design of the 3. I'm going to start with a chain of 25 plus 1, and then I'm going to make 5 rows of single crochet because that is what it says on the graph, and then at row 6 we will start our colour change. I'm using baby pink double knit yarn, the same as I used in the trinket tray, and then I'm also using some black double knit yarn, and I'm using the same size hook, a 2mm hook. So I'm going to start on the 5 rows and then come back for row 6. So I'm now about to start row 6, so I'm going to turn the work, and I'll now be working on the wrong side. If you are right-handed, then you'll be working on the right side and you'll be starting on the left side of the graph where number 6 is, so you'll be having to do 6 single crochets in pink. Whereas if you are left-handed like me, you'll be following the graph from the opposite direction, so you'll be starting with 5 single crochets, which is visible on the right side of the graph. So I'm going to start with my first single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th. I'm now going to join the black yarn and pull through both loops, and then I'm going to make the next 5 single crochets in black, and on the 5th I'm going to change to pink. Okay, I'm now going to switch back to pink, and I'm going to complete the next 4 single crochets in pink. I'm going to switch back to black and I'm going to do 5 single crochets in black. So I'm now at the last few single crochets, so I'm going to be making 6 single crochets in pink. If you are right-handed, this will be the opposite for you. You'll be at the other end of the graph and you'll be making 5 single crochets. So I am now going to complete that. Okay, so that is what that should be looking like. So I'm now going to start the second row of colour changes, which is row 7. I'm now working on the right side, so from left to right. If you are right-handed, this will be the opposite for you. You'll be working from the right side of the graph to the left. So I am going to be making 5 pink single crochets, and then on the 5th I will be changing back to black. Changing back to black, and now I'll be completing the next 7 single crochets in black. Okay, switching to pink. I'll be now doing the next 2 single crochets in pink, 1 and 2. And then again the next 7 single crochets in black. Switch back. Then I'll be completing the last 4 single crochets in pink. So hopefully now you have an idea of how the graph and colour changing works. Please refer to the graphs. Again, like I said, I'm going to be leaving them in the description box down below. I'm going to meet you back once I have finished this crochet print, and then I'm going to be doing the border of single crochet just like we did in the first print, and then I will be coming back to show you the third and final design. Okay, so I'm now about to start row 5. If you are right-handed, you will be doing 3 blue single crochets and then switching to pink. If you are left-handed like me, we will be doing 4 blue single crochets and then switching to pink. So I'm going to start my 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to now switch to pink. Okay, and now I'm going to do 4 pink single crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to switch back to blue, and then I'm going to do 10 blue single crochets and then switch to pink. Switching to pink, and then I'm going to do 4 pink single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switching back to blue to complete the final 3 single crochets. Okay, so that is what row 5 should be looking like. We are now going to start row 6, and you should have, for row 6, 3 colours on the go. So for row 6 I will be starting on the wrong side. If you are right-handed, you will be starting from the left point of the graph. So if you're right-handed, you'll start with 3 blue single crochets and then switch to pink. If you're left-handed, we will be doing 2 single crochets in blue and then switching to pink. So 1 and then 2, switch to pink, and then we will be doing 2 single crochets in pink, 1 and 2, and we will now be switching to lilac. So I'm going to pick up my lilac, add that to the hook, and then pulling through those loops with the lilac. So I'll now do the next 2 single crochets in lilac. 1 and 2, drop the yarn, and then I'm going to pick up the pink and do the next 2 single crochets in pink. 1 and 2, and now I'm going to drop the yarn and pick up the blue, just going to weave in this tail as well. Okay, and then I am doing the next 8 single crochets in blue and then switching to pink. So I'm going to leave the lilac here because if you look at the graph you will notice that there is purple on both sides. So if you want to reduce the risk of there being quite a bulk amount of yarn in the middle, because obviously you'll be carrying 2 more colours over than your original colour, you can cut a fairly long piece of this yarn, which is what I'm going to do. And then when we need lilac for over here for the other roller skate wheel, I will attach the lilac again. So I'll basically have 2 strips of lilac on the go. So what I'm going to do is complete my 8 single crochets in blue, and then complete my 2 single crochets in pink, and then I'll come back and show you where we attach the lilac. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the lilac colour, and then I'm going to do the next 2 single crochets in lilac. Okay, then change colour. Then I'm going to do the next 2 single crochets in pink, and I'm going to carry over the blue because I need that for the end. So 1 and 2, and then switching to blue. Tuck that back. Okay, and then completing the last 3 single crochets in blue. So that is what it should be looking like so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back at row 17 where we have quite a few different colours going on. We'll have 4 colours on the go, which can get a little bit complicated, but I will go through that with you. So I will meet you back at row 17. Okay, so we're about to start row 17. So if you're left-handed, you'll be doing 2 single crochets in blue and then switching to pink. If you're right-handed, you'll be doing 1 single crochet in blue and then switching to pink. You'll be at the opposite end of the graph. So I'm going to do my 2 single crochets in blue, okay, now switching to pink, and then I'm going to do the next 3 single crochets in pink, 1, 2 and 3. Then I'm going to switch to purple, and then I'm going to do the next 2 single crochets in purple and then switch to white. 1 and 2, and then switch to white. Then I'm going to do the next 3 single crochets in white and then switch to purple. Now 2 single crochets in purple and then switch to pink. Now I'm going to do 9 single crochets in pink and then switch to white, so I'm going to carry the white across. Switching to white, 2 single crochets in white, and then switching back to pink. 1 single crochet in pink and then switching to blue. And then complete the last single crochet in blue. Okay, that is what row 17 should be looking like, and hopefully now you have an idea of how to do multiple colour changes. So I'm going to come back once I have completed this print, and then I'm obviously going to do the single crochet border, and then we are all done. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.